Hello everybody, I am going to record a video on how you install the Noctua D15S because I just thought about it while I was reseating my cooler, and yeah. And if you want to look right there, that's why you don't vape near a computer. Learn from my mistakes, everybody. So I've already went ahead and I've cleared out the thermal paste in there. And I've already got the thermal paste back off of here, so I am ready to just get right in here. Now if you want to note, my brackets are offset. Those are for the 5000 series CPUs and for the AM5 series. AM4, other than the 5000 series, you want to use the standard mount, not the offset. Now for today, I'm going to just use Noctua's thermal paste because it is pretty much just as good as anything else you're going to buy. I've got some Cryonaut I could dig out, but I'm not really worried about it. I may go back later after I make sure I get the seating right. Also, Noctua includes this really long screwdriver, which comes in handy. I do have my iFixit screwdriver and the extension for it. You can use either of those. Now one thing to note here is that Noctua puts north and south on these brackets. They also put the CPU with an arrow to show you the orientation while you're mounting them. Very convenient and hard to screw up. And what we're going to do is we're going to, those studs there are going to mount on that stud right there. Now for my thermal paste method, I'm going with 5 dots. I'm going to go 4 smaller ones on the corners. And then a nice one there in the center. 4 in the corners, 1 in the center, and I just cleared off my tip on the sides there. It's very hard to go over with thermal paste unless you just glob it on there. Very easy to not get enough. And, you know, even if you get a little extra, unless it's an excessive amount, you're really not going to see a difference. Unless it's conductive, then it can be a problem. I'm using non-conductive right now, so even if it seeps out, it's not going to short the CPU, but that is possible with other with other thermal paste. Alright, so when I go to mount, I'm going to make sure Noctua is facing right side up, and I'm going to place them on those studs. Unfortunately, I don't have an arm to mount my phone on, or a third arm to, you know, just be able to do it myself. I'm going to be using the Noctua for this part. You want to go back and forth and alternate between your screws. These have tension springs on them. You still only want to go until it stops. You don't want to torque them, crank them, nothing like that. And as you alternate back and forth, you should be applying even pressure, as long as you're doing relatively even twists. What I'm doing is not exact, it's not perfect, it is fine. The hardest part about this cooler is going to be putting that bad lad on right there. Getting this middle fan in is a pain, and it sucks. Oh gosh, get it all. Now I've already got my fan plugged in because I actually had this all mounted and ready to go. You want to double check your fan orientation, which mine is right there. So it blows this way and it spins this way, is what that means. 2. Make sure we orient it like so. And I'm going to set my phone down because I've got to wrangle this wire down in here and make sure it's not going to interfere with these blades. So I've got the wire wrangled. You've got these spring clips here on the sides. And I am going to see if I can get a good angle of this. I don't think I'm going to. Sorry, guys. Alright, so that spring clip, you pull it out and pop it around, and it slides into these little fins and locks in like so. And you do the same on this one back here, and it is a pain, I'm not gonna lie to you, especially when it's as tight as what I'm working with right now. So wish me luck. I'm gonna try and put it in there without knocking the other side out, and then we'll be back. Alright, so once you get that second spring clip, everything should be nice and secured in there, and you can begin just throwing it all back together. For me, I had to pull the graphics card out. So I'm just going to have to reseat the graphics card, plug the power cables back in, and then put some of these little case pieces back on. And then we'll be back for the boot. We got her put back together now. We need to take her over, plug her in, and see if we do any better on the heat test. Alright. We got her fired up. Let's go see what her temps are. We got the computer booted. I got hardware monitor on the second screen. I'm about to fire up the multi-core test and see what happens. On this previous run, I did have the screen timeout on me, so that could be part of it. But that is the score I'm trying to beat. I should have ran it again, but I was hitting 80 on that. So I do see I'm about 2 degrees lower as of right now. I'm at 78, and we're 3.5 minutes in. So here we go. Let's see, what is that? Past 12. So we completed 11 before the 10 minutes was up, which is definitely more than I got last time. And it's going to finish out this 12 here, and we're going to be able to see what we got. In case y'all were wondering, this is what our temps looked like. Across the board, we're looking better. I do want to point out this is a single fan Noctua D15S. And just like that, we've got our new score of 14,683. It's better. It's not what I was expecting, honestly. I think when I get my other fan later on, we're going to see a good temp increase. They do include the mount for the second fan with the D15S, but they do not include the fan. So, well, this has been how you install a Noctua D15S, and I hope you enjoyed.